The linebacker position is one of the more difficult positions to evaluate in the NFL draft. More often than not, the top linebackers drafted in the last 5 to 10 years have ended up having disappointing NFL careers. With that being said, it's very hard to deny some of the incredible gifts these athletes have, and these players are always going to get taken high due to the insane athletic upside some of them possess, and that is where Georgia linebacker Jalon Walker lands for me. Walker is one of the most explosive and versatile linebacker prospects I've seen, but is he actually a good linebacker, or is he just an athlete? That is what we will be talking about in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon page, where for $5 a month, you guys will get exclusive access to my in-depth draft guide with over 500 scouting reports and evaluations. I highly recommend checking it out if you want to help take care of the channel and if you want to learn more about some of these sleeper prospects before they take off. Leave a comment and let me know which players you guys would like to see in a future video, and without further ado, let's take a closer look at Jalon Walker. Walker has been a pretty productive player over the last couple of seasons for the Bulldogs, but he hasn't really gotten a ton of shine. He played in just 244 snaps in 2023, but he finished the year with 26 total pressures, 5 sacks, and 11 total tackles on the season. In 2024, he has seen his usage go up, and his production has remained pretty similar. He has 237 snaps at the time of recording this, and has finished with 10 total pressures, 2 sacks, and 13 tackles, and he's a player who has generated a ton of buzz as a potential first-round pick in April. As mentioned in the introduction, Walker possesses elite athleticism for the position. He is 6'2", 245 pounds, and not only does he have fantastic size, I also love his length. He has long arms that he utilizes as a tackler, and he also has elite quickness and speed. He's recorded to have run a 4.51 40-yard dash, which for a player of his size and build is absolutely phenomenal, and his athletic profile is through the roof. He also has great change of direction and is a super fluid athlete for the position. Walker possesses some very intriguing versatility on the defensive side of the football. He has played linebacker this season, but in 2023, he was an edge rusher for the Bulldogs. He has the athleticism and bend to win off the edge consistently, but he also has the instincts and size that you look for in the inside linebacker spot, which I really like from him. As a pass rusher, Walker has shown some really solid upside, as well as in run defense. He wins with his athleticism. He has flashed elite bend around offensive linemen, but on top of that, I really liked the power that he played with at times, and he showed a better bull rush than I was expecting to see. As a run defender, he has some good gap discipline and the quickness to trigger downhill and make big plays as a splash run defender. My biggest issue with Jalon Walker is the lack of a bag. He strictly wins with his athleticism. He doesn't have really any pass rush moves at all, and I feel like his hands can often be very stiff when he meets offensive linemen. As a pass rusher, he didn't show any counter moves. He didn't showcase that elite pass rush upside, and where most of his production came from was as a blitzer. His win percentage has been relatively high per PFF, but I do feel a lot of that is when he was used as a blitzer and he wasn't really met with a lot of offensive linemen. The other issue with the lack of a bag is his play strength is really lacking as a run defender, and he often struggles to stack and shed blockers. I would like to see him develop a little bit more creativity as a pass rusher, be a little bit more active with his hands, and develop a little bit more play strength. While Walker shows good instincts, he is still a very inconsistent coverage player. I feel he didn't fully understand the nuances of covering against tight ends or running backs, and he got beat way more often than I would like to see. Walker hasn't played a ton of football up to this point, and a lot of this stuff comes with repetition. He shows upside, there's no doubt about that, and the instincts are there, but I don't think it's all the way clicked for him in coverage. Jalon Walker is a very fun prospect, who can play in a number of different alignments, and his athleticism makes him one of the more promising linebackers in this class. But his coverage inconsistencies, as well as the inability to take on blocks and the lack of active pass rush moves, do concern me. He is my number one linebacker as of now, but I'm very hesitant. A lot of these super athletic linebackers don't tend to work at the NFL level, and we didn't even mention the 20.8% missed tackle rate he has on the season so far. He has a lot to work on, but you can't deny the traits, and he is my number 42 overall prospect. Walker works best as an off-ball linebacker who can be used a lot as a blitzer and in a lot of disguised coverages. He works best off the ball, and I think where Georgia's gotten the most of him is lining him up in the box, not necessarily attached to the line of scrimmage, and they can kind of disguise him and hide him in a bunch of different ways. That's where I think he's going to translate best at the NFL level, and I think there's a lot of unique ways you can utilize his skill set. My player comparison for Jalon Walker is Cleveland Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Koramoah is a player who has shown really great athleticism in his tenure in the NFL, who can rush the pass at an elite level and is one of the better blitzing linebackers in the NFL, while he's also been a pretty consistent run defender. Both of them have flashed coverage upside, but neither are elite in that department, and both have inconsistencies as tacklers. Yes, Walker is a bit bigger, but I see a lot of the same tools and traits in the two players. Jalon Walker is a versatile defensive player who can play both linebacker, edge rusher, and move all around on the defensive side of the football. The athletic tools are undeniable, and I think he has an extremely high ceiling, while the floor might not be very high. I believe that Jalon Walker will be a top 50 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft.